Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very professional stream of Thursday Night Tire Talk. The only thing that is going to be professional about this stream is my suit and my partner. Very special thank you to I Am Peanut, otherwise known as Andrew, for joining me on tonight. I'd say it's a very special stream, but I gotta be honest, it's really not. It's talking about something that is pretty special, though. We're going to talk about the House of Wolves, the preview. Now, Andy and I, or Andrew, do you want me to call you Andy or Andrew or Peanut? What do you want me to call you, man?
You can call me Drew.
Call you Drew? All right. So Drew and I have done our homework here. We have watched the stream many times over that you guys saw on Wednesday to break it down and bring you what we feel is maybe the most compelling and also most surprising information. So let's get started. Drew, what was the biggest thing that they talked about in that stream that just like got you by the balls?
Hands down, the fact that you can upgrade your old weapons and your old armor. Just like as soon as he pulled out the shadow price and started upgrading that, I lost it. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, totally. And you know what's awesome is I totally have a shadow price that I just kind of magically thought maybe one day, you just never know what's going to happen. And so I've saved a shadow price, a devil a zombie apocalypse, and a fair and square, all for this kind of thing. And I have to admit that I am super happy about it. The one thing, and this will come up maybe a little bit later, is as far as a question is, how abundant are these resources known as etheric light going to be? But before we talk about that, let's talk about what my biggest surprise is, and that is, I think honestly, the ability to reforge weapons. I'm calling them third generation weapons. The very first weapons like Shadow Price and stuff like that is I consider kind of vanilla weapons, original and stuff like that. And then you have your Dark Below weapons, which, let's be honest, the Vanguard vendor left a lot to be desired. And so now with the third gen of weapons, you are going to be able to reforge them for a certain amount of weapon parts, a mode of light. Let me look at this. I actually wrote down the stats from this stuff. I kid you not, it's all right here on my iPad, all right? I wrote it down. I wanted you guys to know. You'll need 1 mode of light, 3 weapon parts, and 250 glimmer to reforge your weapons. And guess what? The best part about it is you don't even have to level it up. They literally reforged it after he bought it. So that means, guess what? If you want a good shotgun, just go buy one from the Vanguard and re-roll it, and re-roll it, and re-roll it until you get what you want. That, to me, is freaking awesome because you know what? Now we don't have to go out on, these humongous farming things to try to find, that one perfect shotgun. No, you can just use all the resources that you've got from doing a lot of your farming stuff. And just go about it like that, man. So I thought it was great. So what was, after rewatching it, I had this huge giant, erection after watching the stream initially, right? And I think a lot of people did. And, for all the ladies out there, they probably had lady boners and stuff like that, because they're like, this is great. At least I hope so. What was the one thing after you've kind of gone back and reviewed it that was kind of like, it made you scratch your head after you thought about it for a second time?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, all right, that's cool. You know what? Here's one thing, and I know I talked about this pre-stream, so if you were in the stream, then you kind of heard me talking a little bit about it. But so the speaker, he's going to be the guy that's handling the transactions. When you're changing your shards to energies, your energies to shards, whether it's Ascendant or Radiant, or if you're turning those items into Glimmer, he's going to handle that. And I'm kind of questioning why him. Because in the early stages of the game, he barely even gives you the time of day to talk about the Traveler and the history of the Traveler. Like, it just seems like maybe that part doesn't quite fit. Like, maybe... And this is extremely nitpicky, people. I'm sorry, this is extremely nitpicky, but I had to give something, and this is the one thing that kind of stood out to me. The other thing that I will say is this, and I did a lot of the stat checking and stuff like that, and of course, Deej said that there's a lot of one-to-one trading. You trade your one Ascendant shard for an Ascendant energy, or vice versa, and it's that plus 50, is it 50 Glimmer, I think it was? Yeah, it was 50 Glimmer, which is super freaking cheap, considering what Eris has, because for Eris, it's, 500 Glimmer and a consumable. So, I mean, hey, if you're sitting around and you're waiting to level up a piece of gear and you can wait another 3 weeks, by all means, feel free to wait, because it's going to be a lot less expensive to do so. The only other thing that I could possibly hope for, and this is going to be a big hope, super big hope. Are you ready for this one? I hope to God they take Ascendant shards and energies out of the Nightfall drop table. I honestly, and I really do, because here's why. Here's the reasoning. The only thing Ascendant energies, shards, Radiant energies, and shards are going to be used for are those raid gear. Because if you look at the weapons and gear from the 3rd gen, there's no 3rd tree. There's no need to use Radiant energy, or, well, it would be Ascendant shards is what we use in the 2nd gen of weapons right now. There's no need to use, use that Radiant energies to level up that 3rd tier, because that 3rd tier is actually Etheric Light. So, that's my one plea to Bungie. Please take that stuff out of the Nightfall drop table. I don't want to get blessed with 12 freaking energies only to have to turn into shards, then to turn into motes of light or turn into glimmer. Which, by the way, if you have energies, you're losing 50 glimmer to, other than what you would have if you were kind of trying to transfer it into shards, you know what I mean? Or if you were going the other way. So what's the biggest, out of all of the pieces that they talked about, what's like the one thing that you're like super excited to try and get into?
Probably reforging weapons.
Totally. Yeah, man, I'm totally excited about that. I think the one thing I'm also excited about is this idea of the Prison of Elders, and how that's going to look and what that's going to look like. I know there's a lot of people that are speculating.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a horde mode kind of thing or whatever. And I think
which would totally... It wouldn't be that bad if it was a horde mode, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that bad, but I think there's a little more to it than just a simple horde mode.
Yeah, I think Destiny's definitely going to step up their, or Bungie's going to step up their game for this next DLC, because with the last one is, bad.
Yeah, totally. And here's kind of my thing about this whole thing. I think, when we look at it and when we think about it, one of the things that seems kind of relevant to me is that they're placing it at the high end, the high tier of stuff. And not only do they place that at the high end of stuff, but they also place Nightfalls there. And so if you think about it, Nightfalls are kind of, modified versions of missions that we already have. And this is just a thought that I had. This is purely speculation. But I'm kind of thinking that, these are going to be arenas that are going to have similar modifiers to the Nightfall. And by that I mean, they're saying every week they're going to change, and the arena itself is going to be different. So for my money, I'm betting it's going to be very similar to Nightfalls. Very similar, but with maybe more of a horde mode kind of flavor to it, I guess you could say. If that's even correct, I don't know. But that's my speculation. And on that note, if you would like to ever join me on a tire talk right here on Twitch or on YouTube, because you guys are going to be seeing this on YouTube tomorrow, you can follow me at Quiet Darkness on Twitter. You can also follow me on Twitch at Quiet Darkness, or check out my YouTube page, also Quiet Darkness 27. Feel free to comment, subscribe, like, let me know what you think, what you're jazzed about, what you wish they would have seen, or what you wish they would have talked about, or what they would have implemented in those kinds of things. It's going to be a fun time for us coming up here, and there's going to be more to come. Feel free to check me out next Thursday on Destiny's Tire Talk. I'm Quiet Darkness. Stay safe, everybody. And that's